appearing as Empress Dowager Empress Liang of the Xia Emperor Zong Li Liang. Liang, a Han Chinese, was the daughter-in-law of the powerful courtier Muzang Black Pan. After Lang Zu's mother, Empress Muzang, was killed, Black Pan married his daughter, Muzang, to Lang Zu so that he could continue to monopolize the dynasty. As Azuma was a little older, he hated blackmail's dictatorship to the bone, so he did not love his wife, Mirzou, but instead fell in love with blackmail's daughter-in-law, Liang. During the daytime, he went to court, but at night, he met Liang. Blackmail and his son secretly planned to kill Liang and Azuma. When Liang was informed, Azuma removed Black Pan and his family. When Azuma came to power, Liang was made empress. In December of 1607, Azuma Zhou's troops invaded the Song territory and was shot by a Song general with a crossbow and died. His son, Byung Chang, succeeded him as Emperor Huizong. When he was only 7, Liang took the throne as Empress Dowager. It appointed her younger brother Liang Bimian as the Minister of State, again leading to a foreign relative. Dominating Western Xia, Empress Dowager Liang chose her relatives for all critical positions to consolidate her position, forming a group of relatives led by Empress Dowager Liang and Liang Bimian within the court. Yuan Hao's younger brother, Nan Yu, who was well versed in military affairs and was once the commander of the army, and involved in state affairs, was dismissed by the Liangs and died in sorrow. Empress Dowager Liang frequently started wars on the Song borders to win support while proposing the restoration of party rituals at home. After the death of Azuma, Emperor Shenzong of the Song dynasty crowned Byung Chang as the king of Xia, and later issued a proclamation. Although the Song dynasty granted the Empress Dowager Liang an imperial edict, she insisted on exchanging her to chimes, Sainan and Anyun for Suizhou, which the Song dynasty had taken away, but the Song dynasty flatly refused. In March 1069, Empress Dowager Liang sent her men to attack Qinzhou and captured Lugo fortress, killing thousands of Song generals and soldiers. In retaliation for the Xia attack, Emperor Shenzong of Song, who had just assumed the throne and was a young man, forbade the Song borderers to trade with the Xia people in the private market. Xia was short of goods within a few months, and Empress Dowager Liang sent her troops to attack Qingzhou and plundered Song households. Liang Yibo led his troops to attack Shunan, Suping, and Heishui all in present-day Swede, Shanxi, and besieged Swede city for more than 10 days. The Xia soldiers were frightened and dispersed thanks to Guokui, the Song dynasty's Suizhou township commissioner, who set off smoke and fire at Dingshuan mountain to create a bluff. In August of the first year of Tianji Lixing Guoqing 1070, the Liangs concentrated all of the western Xia's forces, and several large armies came out to attack the states of Huan, Yuan, and Qing, with more than 300,000 troops and less than 200,000 troops. They attacked the city of Qingzhou to the bottom of the city. The general of Qingzhou was killed. Tianji Lixing Guoqing 2 years in January. Liang Yi buried order in Swede North, building Luowood City, now Shanxi Mili County North, to resist the stronghold of the Hengshan Mountains. Some 20,000 people out of the Wuding River. Swede troops attacked Luowood City. Was Liang ambush interception? The Song army was defeated. Later, after the Song army had increased their troops and captured Lugu Castle, Empress Dowager Liang borrowed 300,000 troops from Yao, and the morale of the Xia army was significantly boosted. In February, they captured the newly built force of the Song army. Emperor Shenzong of the Song dynasty hurriedly issued a proclamation to withdraw his troops, and the Xia army won the battle and recaptured the city of Lugu. In May, they negotiated peace with the Song dynasty. Empress Dowager Liang sent her officers to claim Suizhou again in September, but Song did not allow them to do so, until the two countries agreed to take 20 miles outside Swede as the border. The war between Song and Xia ended for a while, but a new round of competition was being prepared in earnest. After Suizhou fixed the boundary, Liangs used Han's bachelor Jingshan's construction strategy, attempting to seize the occupation of Western Xia's westward development of the critical road Washing City. At this time, the Song dynasty was also fighting for Washing to control the Western Xia. In the fourth year of the Tianji Rishing Guoqing 1072 ad, Liang Yimie sent troops to attack Washing, breaking the city. When the Song army arrived, the Xi soldiers hastily responded to the attack and were defeated by the Song army, which occupied Washing. The following year, the Song army captured Hezhou. The residents of Muzheng, the leader of the Chubo, who had long surrendered to the Western Xi. After his defeat, he rushed to Xingqingfu to ask Empress Dowager Liang to send her troops to recapture Hezhou. Liang Yimie sent 7,000 soldiers to help, but was also defeated. As a result, the Twixia lost all its western clans, and the country was in an uproar. In the second year of Dan 1076, Emperor Huizong Li Bingchang turned 16 years old and ruled in person. But the real power was still in the hands of Empress Dowager Liang. In January of the 6th year of Dan, Huizong, with the royal family's support, ordered the restoration of Han rituals. However, the power was not in Huizong's hands, so he did not implement it. He envied Emperor Yizong for his efforts to promote the Han rites and make good relations with the Song dynasty. Although he was under the pressure of Empress Dowager Liang, he was depressed, but his original intention remained unchanged. There was a general, Li Qing, beside Emperor Huizong Bingchang, who was a native of Qin present-day Shanxi and had fled to Western Xi. Bingchang admired Chinese ceremonial culture and was close to Li Qing. Li Qing persuaded Bingchang to return the barren land south of the Yellow River to the Song dynasty, so that the two countries could live in good neighborliness with the river as a boundary and use the Song dynasty to weaken Liang's power. Bingchang accepted the suggestion and prepared to send Li Qing on a mission to the Song dynasty. This provoked Empress Dowager Liang's displeasure, and she had Li Qing arrested and executed. Later, she imprisoned Emperor Huizong in a wooden fortress about 5 miles from the Imperial palace, and cut off the river to isolate him from the rest of the world. When the news of Bingchang's imprisonment spread, it aroused the public anger of the court and the countryside. The chieftains each led their troops and defended their fortresses against the Liangs. Prime Minister Liang Yi was buried with a silver plate mandate, but no one obeyed. Domestic chaos was about to erupt. In May, Zhang Hui Ma, the leader of the Biao army, told the Song dynasty that his clan was willing to respond to the attack, and requested the court to send troops to conquer the country. Emperor Shenzong of Song believed it was the right time for him to ask for help and issued an imperial edict to go to war. In June, Emperor Shenzong sent an army of 500,000 soldiers from 5 different directions in an attempt to conquer Western Xi in one fell swoop. When Empress Dowager Liang heard that the Song dynasty had launched a large-scale attack, she hastened to dispatch the general of the military commissions, Liang Yongning, to lead the troops to defend against the attack. The 5 armies of the Song dynasty went on an expedition against the Western Xi. As the Xi army was retreating, Empress Dowager Liang was at her wits' end, and urgently convened a meeting in front of the imperial court to discuss countermeasures. The young and robust generals requested to reorganize the army to fight again, but a veteran general opposed taking the initiative to meet the war, proposing to hold the wall and clear the field to lure the enemy to go deeper into the field and then gather heavy troops in the area of Xingling, and then use the light troops to copy the enemy army's back road to cut off their food transportation so that the Song army would be trapped without food. Empress Dowager Liang adopted the veterans' advice and mobilized 100,000 elite troops to defend the core areas of Xingzhou and Lingzhou in Western Xi. Soon, the situation was reversed. In November, the Song army pushed to Lingzhou, Lingwu, Ningxia, and almost broke through the city gates. The Xi army defended the city and sent light cavalry to cut off the grain routes. The Song army was starved for food. Empress Dowager Liang also ordered the opening a 7-stage canal in the Yellow River to flood the Song camp, and the Song army was unprepared and drowned countless people. In the middle of winter, those who managed to escape by Till water could not stand the hunger and cold, and lost half of them, and they were defeated one after another. The Xi army chased after them, and the Song army was defeated, with only 30,000 men left out of the 1,000 strong army. The other armies also suffered from the snowy weather along the way, the lack of food for the soldiers, and the deaths and loss of life amounted to tens of thousands of people, so they dared not advance any further and returned to China.
The Song dynasty fought against Xia in 5 ways and suffered heavy losses,
with more than 400,000 soldiers lost, while the Xia army won a complete victory. The Xia army won a great victory.
The Western Xia also significantly lost vitality after this fierce war.
The Empress Dowager Liang's defense of the countryside left the front line empty,
and the Song army was able to occupy many cities and territories, but the economy was also damaged in an unprecedented way, and the fertile land along the border could not be cultivated due to the inward movement of the battle line. Fertile land along the border could not be cultivated due to the inward movement of the battle line.
The people migrated and lost a lot of cattle and sheep.
Emperor Zong of Song had been haunted by the failure of his 5-pronged attack on Xia. In April of the following year, the Shiwa commander Li Xian set Yuo again west. The court is controversial. At this time, coincidentally, Shen Kuo proposed to build a city in the Hengshan mountain to take the situation of Jiangxin down, overlooking the western Xia, so that the western Xia does not dare to look at the imperial court. Song Jinzong adopted Shen Kuo's suggestion and took advantage of the opportunity to build an army.
He sent Xu Zai, a minister, to investigate the city's location and chose Yongle.
Yongle was the most important place for the western Xia. Just after the city was repaired, Empress Dowager Liang gathered 300,000 troops to attack Yongle. The two armies met at the foot of Yongle city. The Xia army was at the foot of the city, showing off its strength. The Song army faced each other across the river, and the soldiers looked fearful. Underneath Yongle city, there was a fertile field.
The Xia army crossed the river with iron horse riders, charging left and right like no one was there.
When the Song army saw that the situation was not good, they turned around and ran away.
And the 700 strong army collapsed at the first touch and retreated into the city.
The western Xia army surrounded Yongle city with several weights, cut off the water source and food transportation, and attacked with all their might. Half the Song army died of thirst, and the city was soon captured. All the generals were killed in battle. Hundreds of generals and colonels died, and 200,000 soldiers and servants died. Since the reign of Zong Bingchang, Xia and Song fought one after another. Song dynasty only got 6 cities: Jialu, Wagwo, Yihou, Mipi, Futu, and Saimen. The casualties of soldiers only amounted to more than 600,000 in the battles of Lingzhou and Yongle.
And the amount of money, grain, and silk could not be counted.
Summer army, 2 significant victories, greatly frustrated the Song dynasty monarchs and ministers of the sharpness. Nevertheless, Empress Dowager Liang still needed to be satisfied, and made the Xia army of 500,000 to surround the city of Lanzhou. The defending General Wang Guanyu led 700 soldiers to attack the city at night, and only then did the Xia army scare them away. Since Empress Dowager Liang imprisoned Bingchang, the war with the Song dynasty continued. Song's yearly gift was naturally gone because of the war. The border trade and the market could not be carried out. The domestic financial difficulties, prices rose sharply.
As a result of consecutive years of war, countless fertile fields were turned into wilderness,
and the people were in a difficult situation and complained a lot. In the summer of the 6th year of Dan 1083 AD, Empress Dowager Liang discussed with Liang Yibu and brought Bingchang back to the front.
Although Bingchang was restored to the throne, the government was still in the hands of Empress Dowager Liang and her brother Liang Yimu.
On the one hand, she sent a petition to the Song dynasty, requesting
to pay tribute and to be as happy as before, receive the annual gift from the Song dynasty. And on the other hand, on the ground of claiming the occupied territory of Xia, she constantly instructed the generals in front of her to attack, pillage, and harass the Song dynasty. The Empress Dowager Liang took the daughter of her brother Liang Yibu as her daughter-in-law, and became the Empress of Huizongli Bingchang to continue the Liang family's rule over the western Xia dynasty. After the death of her uncle Liang Yimu in February 1085, Empress Dowager Liang supported Liang Yimu's son Liang Qibu to become the Minister of State. 8 months later, Empress Dowager Liang passed away, thus ending her nearly 18-year rule.